You're listening to I Have Some Notes, a podcast supported by listeners like you. To contribute, visit patreon.com/I Have Some Notes.
Here's a pitch. Superman is popular right now, so let's introduce Supergirl.
Great idea. What sort of challenges will she face? Hostile aliens? A global disaster? An army of killer robots?
A witch who is mad at Supergirl for stealing a boy she liked.
I have some notes.
Welcome, everyone, to I Have Some Notes, the movie podcast with cuts, keeps, punch-ups, and tweaks on mediocre movies. I'm Liam Creswick.
I'm Scott C. Bourgeois.
And I'm Greg Beaver.
And today we are discussing Supergirl. And we are joined by a fantastic guest, the co-creator of the Read Along podcast, a stage manager by profession. It's Anita Bourgeois is here.
Hi, everybody.
I think this is
Your turns.
Instance where Anita and I have both been on an episode at the same time.
It's been a while.
Been a while. I believe the last one was Love Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was 3
Yeah, it was a
years
while
ago.
back.
It's been a bit. Normally I show up and kick the boys off, and then the girls and I take over.
No, unfortunately, we subjected ourselves to this movie and not just the girls.
Yes, and I'm mad at you about this.
Yeah, we blame Greg. This one's on Greg. I'm sorry. No, like I said this in our Discord, we usually try to keep a united front, but excuse me, this was Greg's hot idea, and
like fools, we went with it thinking, oh, surely this quirky movie couldn't possibly be as bad as people say. It's bad. It's bad as people say.
It's so bad.
I was thinking about it today that I think on balance, I'm responsible for some of the worst movies that we've watched. Not the worst. I'm not responsible for the worst, but I am responsible for probably the majority of the really tough ones that we'd have to sit through.
Oh, so I'm not wrong for blaming Greg for all of these things. Okay. That's validating.
As hard of a time we're giving you, I honestly, when I finished watching this, I was like, you know what? This is it's not a perfect I Have Some Notes movie, but it is like challenge level hard I Have Some Notes movie. Like it's fixable. We can, this isn't a complete disaster like, Highlander 2, The Quickening. It's not just sort of boring nothing bullshit like a Zack Snyder thing. It's just an incredibly clunky, awkward, poorly compiled movie.
Yeah.
Which I guess is what makes it a good I Have Some Notes one, because all the pieces are there. We just need to fix it up. Like I've been watching a lot of Taskmaster recently, and it really feels like our task today is fix this movie using only the bullshit pieces in front of you.
It's a movie that's making a lot of capital C choices, and I think that is usually pretty good for us because at least the ideas are there for us to play around with.
Yeah. There's definitely building blocks. This is a script that needed an editor and a good one. And
I would say the script is probably the biggest problem.
I don't know. The pacing, the direction, and the editing aren't doing it any favors either.
There's a lot wrong with this movie.
I don't know. I think the biggest indictment of the direction is maybe it's a little too bog standard TV movie type directing.
Fair.
I will say this, and I want to get this out right away because this is my one big positive of the movie. The opening credits are awesome. They look so good. Like I was telling, me and Aaron are watching this and we're like, holy crap, those are gorgeous. And we're just trying to figure out if it was computer animated, it's 1984. So
I had the
it's
same thought.
In the era of so it's in the era of Tron and stuff. It definitely looked computer animated, but I was trying to figure out had they done it practically in any sort of way, or it's probably a composite. It's probably a combination of the two.
I'm thinking it's CG because it did look really slick. Like the light effects are good. And my only point of reference was like, could they do that in 1984? So I quickly Googled the music video for Money for Nothing came out in 1985. So
Right.
it's not outside the realm of possibility that this was CG.
Okay, so it is well-known movie trivia that the most expensive part of Superman were the credits. Right? Everyone knows the most expensive thing in the movie Superman was the credits. I have a feeling that it's probably the same for Supergirl.
Yeah. I mean,
That
might be why they felt
was
the
spend
need
way
to.
more money on the script.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with that. I mean, maybe given that, that this movie is coming off the heels of, is it coming off the heels of the second Superman or the first? I'm not really sure, but
no.
I'm willing to bet that they wanted to be able to make a bit of a splash right off the hop, and the opening credits to Superman are quite awesome. So they want to make sure that they make their mark when they're
Came out
opening
a
up
year
Supergirl.
after Superman 3.
Okay.
So we've already had 3 Supermans.
Yeah, and someone, I want to say on our Discord, actually did say that this is, in many ways, the perfect companion piece to Superman 3, which is actually a scathing indictment of Superman 3.
Which one is Superman 3? Is that the one with Nuclear Man?
Yeah, I can't remember if that's the Richard Pryor one or the
Yeah, that's the
Nuclear
Richard
Man.
Pryor one, yeah.
Okay.
Well, those gorgeous credits, you might have seen names like this. Janot Swark. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I don't care to correct myself. It's spelled G-Not S-W... Sorry.
I think it might be Schwartz.
Swark.
Yeah, it might be Janot Schwartz.
Schwark. Written by David Odell, who should be fired, but apparently did a lot of Muppet stuff.
Yeah, his credits are just littered with tons and tons
Masters
of
of
Muppets.
the Universe
Masters of the
was another
Universe too, yeah.
Of course, stars Faye Dunaway as Selena, getting the top billing, even though she is not Supergirl. Supergirl played by Helen Slater, Peter O'Toole as Zoltar, Mia Farrow as Allura, Brenda Vaccaro as Bianca, and Peter Cook as Nigel.
Yeah, Peter Cook, famously the impressive clergyman from The Princess Bride. Marriage.
Way better in that movie.
Yeah, also this movie, one of those classic, like a true bomb, a true textbook definition of a bomb. It didn't even make half of its budget back. A budget of $35 million, made $14 million.
Yeah.
Owie.
Womp womp.
Yeah. This is an interesting film in a bunch of ways. And not just because it's so bad, but also because a lot of people seem to genuinely, unironically love it. Because when we put out that we were going to be fixing it, we got 2 reactions from you, our listeners. The first was, good luck. This movie is awful. You have your work cut out for you. And the other answer was, oh, but it's so charming. I love it. And that was a very confusing reaction to me. Because, I mean, there are bad movies that I unironically love. This movie, however, was just miserably long. Halfway through the movie, Nita and I were like, surely this is almost over.
Actually, I asked you to check the timestamp on
And
it.
half the movie was left.
We were only halfway through and I was like, oh no.
It is so slow and boring and long, and it's just a miserable slog. And I'm just like, nothing in this movie is good enough to make up for how bored I am watching it right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that
2
is
hours on the dot.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah,
So
I was
rough.
quite surprised by that because I figured an early 80s action romp, surely that would be a 90 minutes.
Yeah, tight
max.
90s. Yeah.
Yeah, and when I saw 2 hours, I was like, uh-oh. And we did the exact same thing you did, Scott. About halfway through, I paused it, looked at the timestamp, and I'm like, yay, another hour. Great.
Even plot-wise, where we were, I was like, oh, we're approaching the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
No.
Because there was.
No, we weren't.
Because we were about to start like the fourth plot of the movie.
Speaking of plot, let's go to the trailer and the plot summary. Catch everyone up on this belabored film.
She came halfway across the universe in search of a cosmic power source that could save her world from destruction.
Who is she?
Who on earth are you?
You know, I think I recognize the costume.
From the producers of Superman, Alexander Salkind presents Supergirl in her first great adventure.
Wait a minute, wait 1 minute. I mean, you can do the whole number, leap tall buildings at a single bound? You can look right through things?
Yes.
Bend steel bars?
Yes.
Like Superman.
He's my cousin.
Whoa.
Supergirl.
Deep within a pocket of dimensional space lies Argo City, containing the last survivors of the planet Krypton. The city is powered by a device of limitless capabilities, yet protected only by a thin layer of saran wrap. This will become a problem shortly. Kara Zor-El, cousin of Superman, is shown the Omegahedron by the wizard Zaltar, who has taken it without the government's knowing. While trying to hide his crime, the Kryptonian power ball rockets off, tearing through Argo City's flimsy protective layer, landing on Earth. With the city powerless and now in crisis, Kara pursues in another larger Kryptonian power ball in an effort to save it. On Earth, the Omegahedron is discovered by the witch Selena, who plots and schemes to take over the world. At last, with the power of the Omegahedron, she possesses the power necessary to force the human race to bow at her feet and worship her exalted divinity. But hang on. There's no time for that, because she's spotted a hunk by a tree doing hunky tree things. Meantime, Kara has forgotten all about the Omegahedron. Upon landing on Earth and discovering she has superpowers and a supersuit, because why not, she decides to enroll in school to play field hockey with her friends. Will Kara be able to tear herself away from trying on bras long enough to stop the evil Selena? In Jor-El's name, we pray it so. We try not to be super negative on this podcast, and we genuinely try to approach this from a constructive criticism standpoint. And I realize we spent a lot of the first part of this dumping on this movie, so I feel like maybe we should start by stating things that we did actually like in this film, just to kind of like change the tone a little bit.
Yeah, our job is not to review the movie. It's not even to like the movie. It's to fix the movie.
Yeah.
So I liked how she flew. I thought it looked different than Christopher Reeve's Superman, who's much more like directional and like very like focused where he goes. But when she did it, even though you could tell she's on wires, it just had this like flowy swimminess to it that was kind of fun to watch, like unhurried flying.
Yeah. It shows a difference in the characters. I definitely agree with that. For the record, I think Helen Slater's very charming in this movie. Mm-hmm. I don't think she's the weak point by any stretch. And Faye Dunaway is absolutely just giving it her all. She's powering shots out of the stadium every time she's on screen. It's just not enough to save this movie, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So yeah, the two leads, excellent. Like no notes there. They're not being done any favors by the material they have to work with, but they're both like committed to this movie and they're both well cast. And I thought they were at least both enjoyable.
Yeah. They have bought into the script at the very least. Like they're like, I'm on board. This is silly, but we're gonna ham it up as much as possible. And yeah, that makes the whole thing a little bit more tolerable. As much as we were talking about it being a slog, I that's what I would have mentioned too, Scott, is that Faye Dunaway was incredible. I did love the Argo City set. I thought that looked really cool. It's a tragedy we didn't get to see it more than we did, because its design was really unique and interesting, and it looked expensive because it looked like it was quite big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that as well, and was like, it got me hopeful for the movie, and then I was like, oh, no, that was...
That set
Anita,
cost
was there anything?
$30 million. I agree with Scott. I liked Faye Dunaway. She was definitely a highlight of this movie. Despite the fact that I thought it was complete bonkers, I did enjoy the funhouse set.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane that there are witches living in an amusement park, but I loved that little train. And every time it came on screen, I was like, why is the train? But I like the train.
Further to that, there's some great practical effects in play at certain points in this movie. Not always.
Agreed.
Certainly not during the climax. But when Faye Dunaway sends the invisible monster after her,
Yes,
that's rad. That is
Yeah,
a rad
that was
set
cool.
piece.
Yeah.
And when like the remote controlled heavy machinery that she was using to like chomp him and scoop him up, right? I thought that was cool.
Yeah, there's some decent action set pieces that are too short and way too far spread apart.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some decent practical effects.
Yeah, the car getting crunched and the
Yeah.
ground rumbling as it moved, selling an invisible monster. I'm like, wow, this is like could have been a really cheap and corny effect, and you guys did 110% on invisible monster.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I said to you, Scott, when the movie was over, like the art department and effects crew probably had a blast working this movie.
Yeah.
Like to conquer a challenge like that, to be like, okay, we have an invisible monster who steps on a car. Sweet. How do we implode a car?
Yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
they do it and it looks great.
Yeah, and it looks cool.
To that, the comment about Selena's hideout being an abandoned amusement park, it is a bit of a tragedy that they cut the scene of how she got it. Because I really would have liked to see her run the Joker out of his hideout. That would have been really fun.
Yeah.
I think she might have been squatting there too, because there's a for sale sign on the funhouse that I noticed in one scene. So it's very possible she doesn't own it. She is legit just squatting there.
That tracks.
We didn't get to see too much of it, but the monster at the end, some kind of puppet, it reminded me a little bit of the clown from Spawn when he's in his like monster form, you know?
Yeah. Kind of.
But it was nice to see a lot of that stuff. Yeah, you're right. I can't remember who said it, but yeah, the special effects start to go a little downhill at that point. I don't know if they were sort of out of money, but they were just like skew morphing Supergirl to fake that she was being crushed, I guess. It looked very cheap and very bad. Yeah.
Yeah. And they keep cutting to like the same blurry shot of the monster. You never get a clear look at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you're right. I think they might have been running out of budget at the end.
Should have gone for a tight 90.
Could have shown more of that demon monster. I have some notes about that demon monster, by the way. We'll get to that.
I don't know if I like this, but did anybody get like a Porky's vibe from the school act of the movie?
The school act. Yeah, kind of.
I loved, I just had it up here. Maureen Teefy as the friend Lucy Lane. I looked up, the actress has done nothing else, and which is a drag, because I like low-key had a little crush on that character. Like, the way she's just like so perky and mousy, I'm like, how are you not in every movie? I love this character and this actress. I want more of both, please. She was adorable. Which will lead into one of my fixes.
I guess now that we've run out of all of the things that we like
that's
about
the
it,
only good thing about this movie.
Yeah.
What can you identify as the key problem? This could be a long section, but I mean,
there are several key problems. One of them is the love story.
It's awful.
Yeah.
It is cringy at best and kind of borders on like SA, because the man is robbed of his ability to consent to anything, and also is clearly like a 30-year-old man crushing on a girl who's posing as 16 or 17.
Yeah. All of those things are true, and all of those are reasons to condemn that particular plot detail. But also, as far as I can tell, Selena's whole plot hinges on the fact that she's mad that Supergirl stole a boy she was trying to love potion. Yep. And I'm like, that is not like she abandons this world domination stuff immediately and just gets obsessed with getting the hunky guy back under her spell. That I'm like, this can't be the motivation for the villain for the whole movie.
And yet we are. So like, at risk of tiptoeing into our fixes, I think you can just pluck that whole plot and throw it out.
Well, I'll just tell you this now. Then I'll because I have a series of bullet pointed list and then a brief skeleton. So one of my points is yes. Not only do you cut the love potion because it's cringy and it's not a good motivation for the villain, you then don't have anyone for Helen Slater to kiss at the end of the movie, and you need that big monumental big screen kiss. So my pitch is make Lucy Lane Lucy Olsen, Jimmy Olsen's sister. He's coming down to visit his sister, and then make Lucy the love interest. Which I know would not fly in the 80s. Dawn of... What's that?
Sorry, then make Laura the love interest, or make Lucy Laura's love interest?
Make Lucy Laura's love interest, yeah.
I like that very much.
That's much better.
I wish that that 1984 was a progressive enough time for that.
Yeah, this is dawn of Reagan's America. It's probably not going to fly, but that's my pitch. She's the hunky himbo. Yeah,
she's framed as a bit of a tomboy. She's big into sports. She's kind of giving off lesbian energy. Not going to lie.
I want to see them kiss. Yeah.
Do you even need the big kiss though? Like, can't she just?
I get it.
Win?
No, I get it. You want to have a little bit of romance there because I feel bad saying this out loud, but because it's being marketed at girls, you want to have a romance in it.
I think particularly in this era of action movie, I think the big kiss at the end was very much expected.
I mean, even Superman has a big kiss, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I agree with Anita. I don't think you need it. And if we're looking at it from 2025's perspective, it is wholly unnecessary. There's nothing wrong with a romance in your action movie, but I'm perfectly willing to jettison any of the romance in favor of a plot that's a little bit more fun. But I could be convinced either way.
I agree. You don't need it, but if I say you need it for the same reason, like every movie has a kiss at the end. That's what the trope is, and I just wanted to subvert that a little bit. But we can also just not do it instead of subvert it. That's fine.
It's also shorthand for giving characters more stakes and more motivation to be involved in the plot. Because if they're in love with someone and that love interest is in peril, they're more motivated and the audience recognizes that there's higher stakes now. So it's a little bit of shorthand to make it a little more personal. I get it between Selena and Supergirl. It's handled super clumsily. The love interest as presented is really gross, really gross.
So awful.
If you have to keep it, there's definitely a better way to do it.
Agreed. Why don't we send her to a regular high school that isn't an all-girls school and give her a classmate who is at least age appropriate?
Yeah, easily do that too.
Could we do that? I realize we're venturing into fixing it territory already.
That's fine. We're here to fix movies. Yeah. I just think I am giving her a classmate.
Yeah.
I think especially
don't get me wrong, but in 1984, unfortunately it needs to be male because reasons.
Yeah, I entirely agree with Scott's assessment of like the shorthand for giving the character motivation, and it also in a fish out of water type movie like this where she's an alien. The romantic partner also is kind of a stand-in for the planet as a whole. Like if she's got to do something to save the planet, and you've got this connection to you're a foreigner and you have this connection to this person who lives in the land that is in danger, right? So yeah, that works fine, and I don't mind using it for that reason. Romance stuff like that in action movies is all included for particularly that reason, just like really easy stakes, just like a father or mother dying, right?
I'm not saying Ethan isn't completely unnecessary, but I definitely think the romantic plot, if nothing else, needs to be different than what it is. Yeah. Speaking of the school, how much of that business is necessary? Because you could trim 10, 15 minutes off this runtime by not having weird shower hijinks or her playing some sports ball with her friends. Like we could be focused on the plot.
She doesn't understand how underwear works, but she does understand field hockey.
The number of those, like, what is a horse? Where she like doesn't know Earth things, but then also absolutely knows Earth things. Like she knows Kal-El is here and he works. His name is Clark Kent, but also doesn't know what a horse is. He raised on a farm, doesn't know what a horse is. Like
she knows enough about the school system that she has to write a letter of recommendation.
Yep.
Yeah, she knows how to write her own letter of recommendation.
Look, in fairness, this movie can't keep track of what her superpowers are.
Oh my God.
So, like, how can we expect it to keep track of her knowledge of the Earth? Because there's one point in the climax where Selena tries to stop her by causing an earthquake, and apparently she forgets she can just fly.
Right.
Apparently one of her superpowers is disguise.
Yeah, also that.
It just happens.
Yeah, it's, yeah.
All that kind of takes away of the fun of her being fish out of water too, right? Because if you're confused about what she does and doesn't know about the Earth, then you can't have as much fun playing with her lack of knowledge, right?
Well,
right? It's so weirdly selective.
You could even have set that up earlier with, and this is treading into Vix's territory, by having, because she asked Zoltar about Earth, and he could have filled her with a ton of nonsense at the beginning of the movie, talking about stuff that is definitely not true about Earth, because either he's completely unfamiliar with it as well,
that'd be great.
or he's just winding her up, and then she comes to Earth with a bunch of weird preconceptions and notions that prove to be wrong,
like the Little Mermaid,
which would actually lean a little bit more into the comedy aspect of the movie too, because the movie's also trying to be funny and largely failing.
Yeah, I like the campy vibe that I'm getting from it, and I really want to play into that more. I think that, especially given Faye Dunaway's performance, like it'd be great for the whole movie to feel more that way consistently.
Well, do we want to get into our fixes then? Because I have plenty.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, otherwise it's just going to be us complaining about all the other bad things.
Yeah, we're already tiptoeing up to our fixes. We might as well get into it.
Yeah.
Let's take the plunge.
In the ghost town of Boron Ridge, an interdimensional boarding school houses delinquent students from all over the multiverse. The rules are strict. The campus is isolated. The students are forbidden from sneaking into other dimensions, but they do it anyway. This is Slug Blaster.
I heard that you might be interested in slug blasting. I would love to be able to have you on my team. I'm one of the best slug blasters in the school. I have a ton of experience. I've been to so many dimensions.
Esther Infinity, slug blaster documentarian extraordinaire.
I am running for prom queen. Can I count on your vote?
I'm Slavic, but lots of people just call me Bub or Bubby if they're close.
It's time to play the game. It's time to play Slug Blaster. Ready to play some Slug Blaster?
Quantum Kickflip. Season 3 premieres Wednesday, June 4th.
Welcome back to I Have Some Notes. We are fixing Supergirl from 1984. I have a series of cuts. This is a movie podcast with cuts, keeps, punch ups, and tweaks. Here are some cuts that I have. You cut the stick of pure evil that Nigel gives her. That was a needless MacGuffin. She already has a cosmic magic rock, and he's like, here's some old voodoo stick. It's going to jack this thing right up. And I'm like, what are we? And I'm like, maybe as like a one-off to like build something, sure. But she's waving that around for the whole third act. And I'm like, which magical item do you use, lady?
Yeah, agreed. That can go.
You can cut any mention of Clark Kent. I'll buy that she knows her cousin Kal-El was sent to Earth as a protector, but how would she know that his name is Clark Kent and he grew up on a farm in Kansas, lives in Metropolis? That's absurd.
Agreed.
And then this is, so both my favorite part of the movie, like I'm not a big, like, watch bad movies to laugh at it kind of guy. But I was fascinated by the character of Bianca because I both loathed her and loved every time she talked.
So
Bianca as a character,
sidekick, basically, is what the logic is.
Sure, but this is not a sidekick. This is someone, if you look at all of her dialogue, and I know none of us were all bored, so maybe you weren't like hyper focused on this like I was. Unequivocally, all of Bianca's dialogue is her just sort of saying stuff about what's happening, kind of in the tone of a joke, but not really. And after a couple where she's like, what's that? How are you going to fix it? Like, it's a lot of like questions or really dumb, obvious observations. And I started like keeping a tally of these things. Bianca is like that person you watch a movie with who talks through the whole movie because they're like half on their phone and not paying attention, and then like look up and are like, what's happening? Why is he kissing her? Is that how's she gonna get out of that? But like put that character in a movie, or put that annoying movie watching person into the movie.
Yeah. She is the annoying movie watcher in her own movie.
None of her dialogue, you could cut that. Like or punch it up. Like you could either cut it all out or punch it up. But as it stands, Bianca just goes, what's that? Every 5 lines.
Selena also has Nigel around as a sidekick. She doesn't need both Bianca and Nigel. You could cut one or the other pretty easily, and it wouldn't significantly impact things, and it would trim some of the fat.
I say cut Bianca because I have use for Nigel. He is, much like in the movie, he's a useful idiot.
I have tweaks for Nigel, but I agree.
So yeah, cut Bianca. It was very funny though. Every time I was like, can this get any lazier writing? Oh, it can. Great.
I was actually going to use Bianca as sort of like to play off of Selena harder, but I'll let you continue and I'll get into them in a little bit.
Oh, those are my cuts.
Nigel and Selena already have kind of a love-hate thing going on through the entire movie, so he can just as easily be a snarky jerk to her the whole time. Especially as he gets more, it gets more and more obvious that she is in way over her head and she's meddling with powers she has very little tenuous control over. And he's just like, you're really dumb and you're going to get yourself killed.
Well, that's kind of what I was hoping to play into, is that Selena, like she's just like a shit witch. She doesn't like do any of the witching stuff very well, and like she has these grand designs on taking the world, but she lacks any kind of real focus in anything. And when she does get the Omegahedron, then suddenly it's this person who has no business having all this power suddenly has that in the palm of her hand, right? So suddenly she has capabilities of being the best witch or whatever. And that lack of focus is what drives her to do extremely silly things. Like, even if we wanted to keep her getting distracted by like, oh, there's this person that I desire and I'm going to, like, maybe Nigel is like the person that she looks up to in the witching warlock community that she wants to be, but he like continually ignores her or whatever, and that's sort of like what drives her badness, I guess. Whatever it might end up being. I like the idea of having Bianca be this sort of like straight person to her, where she's understanding like that she's her own worst enemy. She can't stay focused, and she's kind of there to sort of like reinforce to the audience. So like, yeah, these decisions are weird and almost incoherent. we understand this. And this is, just sort of like driving home. That's playing off it, driving home. That's what's funny about it. And, her misguidedness and her inability to focus and stuff is sort of what leads her to be, to use the Omegahedron for like outright evil.
Dig it.
Couple things while we're tweaking Nigel and Selena and Bianca. First of all, was it clear that Selena's not really a witch? Like, there's no such thing as magic. It's hokum. She just got an object that allows you to manifest reality because it's a reality warping device, and it's making her able to do the magic that she believes in.
Yes,
I don't know that the movie was clear on that, but that's what I was picking up. Am I wrong?
Well, I think
that's
you're
what
wrong.
I got, is that she suddenly actually became a witch because now she had something that could manifest
her will.
Yeah, that actually did magic, quote unquote.
But it's the power cosmic. So I'll say that that is my fix, and I think you are right, and I think that's what they intended. But she is a witch in the classical magic does exist witch sense because she does a spell that involves a spider in a shell getting boiled in oil and then uses it to make a potion. At no point in that process is the Hedron involved.
But it is in her possession at that time, and it's in the room with her.
So, but that really muddies the water if she's doing full bubble trouble, toil, and trouble. Like, everything coming out of her should be sourced by the Omegahedron, and it's not actual magic. It's the power cosmic.
I believe that it's her doing the magic, but the power cosmic making it real. It's manifesting it.
Yeah, absolutely.
One other thing, Nigel, for some reason, is a computer teacher at the school, despite being an expert in the occult, in a school that the principal explicitly says teaches Latin. Why is he not the classics teacher or a history teacher? Like that is just like, it's basic. That's basic character stuff that blows my mind. Why is he a mathematician?
Because we need to show that Supergirl can do math on the fly, but you know what else you should probably do? Read Latin.
Which is a skill that she never needs to use at any point for the rest of the movie. It's there as the brick joke to something that was set up at the beginning and goes nowhere. So there's something we can cut, and we can change Nigel into something that makes sense. Number 3, the demon at the end that she manifests should be the jar the Omegahedron is in. I thought that's what it was setting up to, because it keeps getting bigger and it keeps changing. Right? And every time she uses it, it seems like it's manifesting more dark power. I was under the impression that it was eventually going to turn into a monster and be out of her control. The movie doesn't do that. So maybe that should happen.
Like at one point, it turns it kind of sort of looks like a dragon, right? It gets all
it looks more and more demonic. And I was under the impression, especially because Nigel gives her that little glimpse of the future in one of the earlier scenes in his cigarette case, and you see the demon at that point. And I was like, oh, the box is going to turn into a monster, and she's going to lose control because she's a terrible witch. And then that doesn't happen because, like so much else in this movie, stuff gets set up that doesn't actually pay off. I think
zero
that's what
thought
should happen.
Was put into this movie.
She loses control of the Omegahedron. It animates the box that it's in into a giant monster. There's your final boss battle.
Amazing. I love that. And,
so much better than what's actually in the movie.
This is an aside, but I did enjoy that at one point in the box's growth progress, it had like this nice rack on it. I don't know if you guys saw that. Anyway,
she had some weirdly sapphic and erotic statuary in her lair as well. I'll just point that out.
Yeah.
Because reasons, I guess. I didn't get that. It was so weird. I know she can be cut, but I would rather punch up Bianca than cut her entirely. Because I think my major fix for this movie is to like genuinely lean into the comedy.
Yeah.
You can tell they're trying, but not very hard. Like,
that's exactly it. All of Bianca's lines are delivered like jokes, but they're not.
But they're not, right? Like, punch her up, make her funnier, make her like the roommate or something. I don't know exactly how to punch it up, but
Yeah, we'd have to go line by line and just write better jokes. But you're absolutely right.
Just write her some actual jokes.
She's meant to be the comic relief, and she is not funny because the person who wrote her isn't a funny person.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side of that, then also make sure that Lucy Lane and Jimmy Olsen have funny stuff to say. Because if you've got some comedic sidekick for the villain, you need to have some comedic sidekick for the hero.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It actually makes a nice symmetry. So you got Supergirl versus Selena. You've got Jimmy Olsen, a body of knowledge for things that these characters might not know, and you've got Nigel, a body of knowledge for occult and Latin and computers, apparently. And then you've got funny sidekick Bianca and funny sidekick Lucy Lang.
I like that. That's beautiful symmetry. I love it.
Yeah.
And I think it would work a lot better.
And you've got Ethan plunked in the middle because both sides are pulling at his little heartstrings, so that because both Selena and Supergirl want to have a little smoochy smooch with him. which leads me to my big question: can the love story be salvaged in this movie?
I've made my case. So.
Yeah, actually, so have I. I would prefer that instead of just some random landscaping hunk who gets affected by a love potion and then magically gets turned into a poet somehow.
Yep.
That's a weird ass love potion. I would at the very least prefer him to be age appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole, like, he's broken of the love potion, but then decides he's still in love with her is utter shit. I hate it. I hate it from the bottom of my soul. I hate it so much. That needs to go away.
Yeah.
It's kind of gross. The whole love story is
it's awful. It's awful and gross and bad, and it should feel bad.
Look, I much prefer Liam's pitch of Lucy Lane / Olsen, however direction we want to go with that, and Supergirl having a little kiss at the end because they're actually shooting sparks back and forth. I'm cool with that being our love story. I realize that would be hyper progressive for 1984, but we have the benefit of 40 years of hindsight here. We can make modern changes, can't we?
Yes. And also in this, speaking of modern hindsight, in this movie, Jimmy Olsen kisses Lucy Lane. Lois Lane. Lucy Lane. Or is it Lang because it's Lana Lang?
I'm pretty sure it's Lane because she mentions her sister works at the same place.
Works at the okay.
Yeah.
Either way, Jimmy Olsen ends up smooching that character. We don't need Jimmy Olsen to kiss because we already 40 years later are going to get the ultimate Casanova Jimmy Olsen in James Gunn's Superman 2025. So we don't need Jimmy Olsen getting kisses in this one. Yeah. Every cinematic Jimmy Olsen can get some.
Superman's best friend.
Yep.
My biggest question is, we've kind of more or less sussed out an arc for the villain in which she's someone that starts off as an incapable person, that is power hungry, and both her inability to control both those aspects of her personality ultimately destroy her. What kind of arc can we give to Supergirl that both mirrors those and is satisfying?
Scott, what's your arc for Supergirl? Because I got one too.
The opposite arc of Selena. Selena is someone who gains incredible power and loses control. Kara starts the movie as this clumsy kid who loses the Omegahedron and then goes off half-cocked to try to rescue it. And by the end of the movie has learned
amazing,
more discipline, more self-control, and that's what allows her to overcome Selena having lost control of the Omegahedron and unleashed this monster. Because I think we all liked the idea of it becoming the jar becoming a monster at the end.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah, for sure.
Then I agree. That was my fix as well. I can give you that act by act, what that looks like.
Shoot.
Okay. So Supergirl goes to Earth to get the Omegahedron. And I'm going to take things we've said so far and with the little skeleton I've written here. And I like that maybe Zoltar was gassing her up about Earth. So she knows. I like that detail. So we're going to take that. So as soon as she arrives on Earth, she's kind of confused. She doesn't know what's happening, but there are people in danger, and she uses her powers to avert a disaster, establishing that she is good and super. Maybe this is a disaster caused by Selina. Maybe it's just a regular emergency. Maybe it's because she doesn't know what Earth stuff is.
Maybe she accidentally causes the disaster because she doesn't have full control of her powers, and she's still immature in this act.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about Nigel, but it does tie to Supergirl getting better at things through the movie. So in my pitch, Nigel is a learned occultist with a huge ego. He's written books on magic. He is considered an expert in the field. He is one of the go-to magic power guys on Earth, but there is no such thing as magic. So Selina is kind of like simps for him and like wants to be cozy to him because she wants power. She's hungry for this power and thinks he has it. And he likes having her around because he's stroking her ego. And then when she gets her hands on the Omegahedron, the tables turn. He becomes her minion. And then, she like we discussed, she uses this cosmic relic to quote unquote cast magic and styles herself as a witch. But I think Nigel. Yeah, and Bianca's there too, and she's funny this time.
Yes.
But I want Nigel to be like a popular, well-known occultist, so that when I originally had it where just like Supergirl's looking for the Omegahedron, spots Nigel on the scene of another magical disaster, the first one, thinks he has it and follows it. Scrap that. This is my new pitch. Instead, she's an idiot who doesn't know what horses are. So she gets to Earth, sees this guy who is like learned, respected, has a reputation, goes, oh, that guy's a wizard, like Zoltar. And Zoltar always helps me at home. Maybe this guy can help me divine the location of the Hedron. And like goes to him. Maybe goes to him undercover to the Latin school he teaches. But like she doesn't... Right.
Then there's an actual reason for her to have a disguise. Yeah. I love it.
And to try to get into the school.
Yeah. Oh my God. Justifications for things. How exciting.
Yeah. And I like this thing that she doesn't know. So she's going to someone who does. She doesn't have the capabilities. A lot of this, the fact that she thinks this wizard is going to help her the same way the wizard back home helps her. The second act, just shenanigans. Basically, Selina can't figure out who this blonde Supergirl is messing with her, practicing her new powers. And Kara, Supergirl, can't figure out why weird shit keeps happening every time she thinks she's close to the Omegahedron. Until eventually, and obviously Nigel's like, hey, this girl came to ask me for help, and I think she's the lady who's been screwing up all of our stuff. Let's get her. Mistress, please love me now that you're in the status one. And then eventually Nigel and Selina figure out Supergirl is the girl in Nigel's class, the girl who's been asking her about occult stuff. They trick her, they trap her in the Phantom Zone. That all plays out the same. That scene does kind of suck, but I'm trying to keep as many pieces as we can.
That's something that could be made better, but still kept. And especially because it's an opportunity for her to reconnect with Zoltar, who, for losing the Omegahedron, does say, I'm going to get exiled to the Phantom Zone for this. Yeah. I buy that.
And then, Act 3, she escapes from the Phantom Zone. I figured it plays out the same, but now I actually like that from our conversation here. She doesn't just break out of the Phantom Zone and kick Selina's ass. She gets out of the Phantom Zone only to discover there's a giant monster shaped like the container terrorizing Metropolis 2. And she has to do that having just got out of the Phantom Zone. And then go kick Selina's ass.
Slight tweak to that. She escapes from the Phantom Zone. Selina goes to do something apocalyptic with her power, and that causes her to lose control. So that you still get that Supergirl at her most controlled, having been given like that push that she needed from Zoltar in the Phantom Zone, having just overcome that, having come back to put an end to this once and for all. Selina losing control, and that setting up the final confrontation between the two.
Yeah, maybe Selina's losing control while she's in the Phantom Zone, or you're back from the Phantom Zone. That disaster has caused me to lose control. But yeah, either way, the final act isn't the two of them facing off with Jimmy, Nigel, and Lucy in giant cage balls over dangling spikes and then fighting the monster in a room. The monster is a kaiju attacking the city, and Supergirl's got to save.
Yeah. And you still get the giant demon fight. and then Selina can still get, I guess, sent to the Phantom Zone. I don't exactly know what happened at the end there.
Yeah, what did happen to her?
Yeah, I guess he did.
Yeah,
I
it
think
read
she
to
went
me
to
as
the
she
Phantom
also
Zone.
as she got exiled to the Phantom Zone.
Yeah. I mean, you could even have Supergirl kind of like if her arc is to gain control, she could actually help Selina control herself enough to end the crisis, right? And then with the two of them work together at the very, very last minute to stop the monster.
Women supporting other women. We love to see it. Not throwing each other into the Phantom Zone.
Yeah.
I like that better.
I mean, either way, as soon as Supergirl leaves with the Omega Hedron, Selina no longer has any powers. Like, she's done. So, like,
she's back to just being a regular
she's
woman
still
again.
Stopped at that point because, again, as we've established, magic's not real.
Right.
I like that better than trapping her in the Phantom Zone.
I like that for Kara just because that's a real super type thing to do. Is just like have enough compassion for your adversaries to help them rather than just letting them suffer.
Yeah. And to try to reach out and see the best in even the worst people.
Yeah.
And call on that to try to save the day. And then, I mean, Selina probably still goes to jail at the end because of all the illegal stuff that she was doing with her magic and the whole taking over the town thing.
Yeah.
So, but in this case, she doesn't go to super prison on another in another dimension.
Was anyone else super confused about the protest?
Yeah, that was weird.
The protest came out of nowhere. I'm glad you brought that up.
She's on her own little parade, and then there's a protest over it, and I'm like, did I miss a scene? What is happening?
Even if there was a scene, the logic is a witch erected a giant mountain just outside of town and stole our friend. I guess we better make some picket signs,
right?
Yeah.
What?
And
it's
also
like
is
unhinged logic,
and is also mind controlling the police. So we should make some picket signs
somehow.
Yeah.
I love this movie. I'm glad we stripped it down to the skeleton because what we had before was a hot mess.
Yeah, I like this. We can still have, if nothing else, the invisible monster fight in this version.
I love keeping the invisible monster fight. That's
just one of those Act 2 shenanigans where they're like, why does this Supergirl keep stopping my magic? Why can't I find the Omega Hedron? Shit happens every time I'm close.
Yeah, she can still go after the runaway construction equipment. It's not trying to scoop up the love interest this time. But one of her friends can still be in danger because, of course, Lucy would be the first one to try to jump in and stop it. And then she still bonks her head and she's unconscious. So Supergirl has to go and save the day. And if Lucy's still her love interest, she's still saving her love interest. Works out perfect. Love it.
I realize that this is not a fix. This is Nita just bitching about bad things in the movie. But as Scott pointed out when we were watching it, and I was thinking it really loud, she rescues this guy out of the bucket of this machine and leaves her unconscious friend just sitting there.
Yeah.
Girl, please.
She's fine. She's unconscious. She's not going anywhere.
Yeah, but the machine was still driving out of control and then immediately crashes into a building. So, like, she could have picked up that. She could have picked up the whole machine.
I cannot shake my head any louder at this movie. Like, it's so
You know, and you reminded me, Anita, of another problem with the love potion thing. Not only is it cringy, not only it's cringy, it lacks consent, it doesn't make any sense, it's a bad motivation for the villain, and what a narrative and literal long walk it takes Ethan to go from taking the potion to seeing Supergirl. They do the classic, like the first person you see, you're going to fall in love with, and the guy walks halfway across town.
Yeah, in the middle of a crowd, and somehow doesn't see anyone.
Oh,
yeah, it's real dumb.
It's awful.
To be fair, I think she had said that he had to. How'd they put it?
Look directly into her eyes or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm like, wow, I'm like, because he takes the potion, and I'm like, well, Supergirl's not anywhere nearby. How is he gonna accidentally look into her eyes instead of Selina's? He's gonna walk across town,
He's gonna stumble across town like a drunk.
I'm not gonna lie, for half a second, because Nigel like shows up around that time, I was like, are they setting up a comedy bit where he accidentally falls in love with Nigel? Like, I legitimately thought that for half a minute. Because I agreed with you. It was like, there's no way that they're setting this up to be a love interest for Supergirl, because she's thousands of miles away. Somehow they did.
Good point. I guess I maybe I shouldn't have done this, but I was bored at work the day I watched this, and I knew I was going to watch it when I got home, and I read the Wikipedia synopsis for the movie, so I knew that like the guy takes a love potion and then accidentally looks at Supergirl. And I also knew that the Argo City is like a section of Krypton that sort of like bunkered down during the explosion
in inner space.
If I hadn't read that, I don't think it's not clear in the movie why there's still Kryptonians walking around on a Kryptonian planet like thing. The Wikipedia article tells you it's like they're in a pocket dimension and they're safe, but like they never really explain why there's a whole Kryptonian community.
They do a little bit. It's passed over real quick in some very early exposition, but it is there. It's blink and you'll miss it.
It's nonsense
Make it more clear.
Exposition.
Yeah, for sure.
The bit about outer space versus inner space. And I was like, this movie does not know what it's talking about. It's just spouting nonsense to cover up the fact that it's written horribly.
Yeah, so they're not, because I'm like, are they in the Phantom Zone or in a pocket? Oh, they're in quantum space. They're where Ant-Man hangs out where they, okay.
And then somehow she gets into a space ball, and it has a costume in it for her because reasons.
Why not?
And then when she exits the space ball, she is a completely different person. That's an important change that we should make. Can her character at least be consistent?
In what way do you feel that she's different from the Kara Zor-El?
She is this very innocent, childlike, like discovering her world when she's in, what's the name of the city? I've forgotten it already.
Argo City.
Thank you. When she's in Argo City, and then she travels through the space ball, gets a costume for no reason, and then when she emerges, she is it's like a completely different character has come out of this. Like, they filmed it 2 years apart or something, and she doesn't remember what this character is like because she is so different. She carries none of that innocence anymore.
Wayfish innocence, yeah.
She knows some things and then not other things, and she knows she has to, like, she can go to school all of a sudden. Like, it's okay to make her innocent. Don't make her stupid. Make her innocent, make her naive. That's okay, because then she can learn, right? That can be part of her arc.
Well, and part of the humor that we kind of added in is that she might be very smart at home, but her head has been filled with nonsense about Earth.
Yeah.
From a wizard who actually has just been winding her up this whole time. So when she shows up on Earth, she has all of the wrong information.
Yeah.
And she can have that wide-eyed, like, oh, what's this? What's this? I can't believe my eyes. Like, she can really be like, I'm the Born Sexy Yesterday kind of trope of like, it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. Born Sexy Yesterday is an excellent way to put it.
But it's not because she's stupid. In this case, it's because she's badly misinformed.
Yeah. And then she can get corrected. Like, she can still be a functioning person, you know? Yeah. Let's do that. Also, we can trim like a good 75% of her just flying around scenes.
Disagree. Possibly my favorite part.
Why? It was just an excuse to use stock footage and put her like flying in front of it.
I just liked, she's nice to look at, and I like how she held her body. It was like the theater kid in me liked the movement exercise of how she flies different than Superman.
But it does nothing for neither character nor plot. It's
neither does her trying on a bra randomly.
What was that? And then she, like, what was it, socks she was putting in? She's like, yes, this goes over my clothing. This is what I've seen other people do. I hate it so much.
And then a gratuitous shower scene.
That was post-shower scene, so she should have at least understood how the mechanics of it.
Good point. It is post-shower scene. She should have figured out bras after the shower. But I'll give you this. Here's my quick, Eureka moment I just had. Either this was an unintentional joke from the creators or like they really fucked up the delivery. Superman famously wears his underwear on the outside. Was that some kind of like, oh, people from Krypton think underwear goes on the outside, and so she's got like, but if that was intentional, then the bra should be like a bright red sports bra.
Yes. Agreed.
For sure. Yeah. Really hammer it home. Yeah.
But yes, as soon as you're like underwear goes on the outside, I'm like, well, Superman canonically does.
I suppose. Still.
Great. Well, I think we fixed it. And our listener comments also had some canny insights. Thank you to everyone who commented. We solicit these on our social medias. So please, when you see us call these out, we love your comments. We love getting you in on the conversation, especially when we get those comments, not from social media, but the Discord that you joined to come talk to us about movies.
First comment is from Jeff Samsonow, who says, no cheating with gun updates. We did not cheat with gun updates, Jeff.
We did not.
Don't think we did.
Nope.
Other than, I guess, putting in a kaiju at the end, but...
Oh, sure. Why not?
Robin Taylor says, Supergirl is a pipe of woof. Wrong-headed from start to finish and a perfect pairing with Superman 3.
Yeah, that's where that perfect pairing comment that I mentioned off the top came from. It was from Robin. Yeah, it's definitely got similar vibes to Superman 3. I'll grant it that.
It's the I hate myself double feature.
We're confident Superman 3 is the one with Richard Pryor stealing half cents rounded down?
I looked it up.
Yep.
That's definitely the one.
We've all seen Office Space. There's that joke in Office Space where they're like, isn't that the plan from Superman 3? I've always wanted to write a script where some characters do that and one of them goes, wait, isn't that the plan from Office Space?
Which is also the plan from Superman 3. I love it.
Yeah.
Josh Scar says, outside of a page one rewrite, this movie needs to be thrown into the pit alongside the Atari ET cartridges. Yeah. I mean, it's salvageable though. It's salvageable. I think we did some pretty good work fixing it.
If someone were to give me carte blanche, Nita, you've won a contest. You get to fix Supergirl.
Weird contest, but okay.
Weird contest, but okay. I would say, you know what? Let's make it an animated feature. Let's strip it down and make it like a genuine comedy. Lean into the silly, lean into the comic bookiness of it.
Get the guys who did the Superman animated series to do it.
Sure, why not?
Or like the Teen Titans, like that kid friendly.
Actually, I didn't want to say it, but yes, give it the Teen Titans treatment. Like, go that far, because I think the base of the movie is fine. We can build something good off of that. And yes, the Teen Titan treatment would be perfect.
Yeah. I actually think that overall for Superhero Affair, I kind of wish that more studios would do the Into the Spider-Verse type thing with because like when you really lean in, you get some really talented artists in there. You can make something truly unique and you don't have to worry about the uncanniness of superheroes in a real life world.
Yeah, exactly. Give it that cool art style, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's one of the selling points of a comic book is like, oh, this art kicks ass. So trying to force it into the real world with costumes and, like people joke about how like the original X-Men, they wouldn't put him in yellow. It wasn't until Deadpool and Wolverine where Wolverine wears the yellow outfit, but like get a cool artist to animate a badass yellow Wolverine outfit and you don't have any of these problems.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. And then your action scenes can be like truly silly and bonkers and unrealistic and it's fine.
Yeah, when Hugh Jackman puts on the cowl in Deadpool and Wolverine for the first time, I was kind of like, I understand why they didn't do that before. It does not look good. It looks great in the comics. It does not look good on him.
Yeah, it barely works for Batman. Tax says, I have to confess that I've never seen it all the way through, bits and pieces on TV, and the first 10-ish minutes before my ADHD threatened legal action. The first 10-ish minutes is great because it's got that banging Krypton set.
Yeah, and then after that, it gets real slow and boring. So I can see why you're scrolling on your phone and going to get a snack and putting on a better movie somewhere else. Bogoload says, there's some interesting ideas, but it's a bunch of nonsense that barely connects together and none of it gets fleshed out enough to work.
Correct.
Accurate.
And that's all we have to say about that.
That was basically our fix, was to make it snap together better and jettison the stuff that really was just kind of hanging and dangling.
Yeah, we either justified it or cut it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think we got it. We might have gotten it down to like a leaner, like 145 too.
Oh, for sure. This is a 90 minutes, maybe.
Oh yeah, you could easily lose a good 30 to 40 minutes from this movie as is.
Yeah. You know what? We never said Selena's hideout doesn't need to be a abandoned amusement park
because we
kept
all
that.
We all agree that it did have to be an abandoned.
It was a super fun set. It had a tiny train. No, it didn't make any sense.
Well, then that concludes this episode of I Have Some Notes, the first one of season 11.
Yay!
And thank you so much, Anita, for joining us.
Thank you for letting me come and complain about this movie. I appreciate it.
You can hear more of Anita with her husband, Scott, on the podcast, The Read Along, a mini book club for your ears.
Yeah. We're actually just starting a new book at the time that this episode's going to land. So now's a good jumping on.
What book?
We have not announced it. And so I feel weird just in case mentioning it here so that we don't accidentally spoil it.
Okay.
Also, not going to lie. Don't remember off the top of my head what it was called because we were ahead of the game for once and we bought it
like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, several weeks ago.
We happened to be at a bookstore and we were like, we should buy our next book now. Because normally we wait till the very last minute to get it. So I legitimately, it's just been so out of sight and out of mind for a bit. I don't remember what it's called.
Okay. Well, I tried.
You can check us out. We're the Read Along, a mini book club for your ears. But just as importantly, you can check out more I Have Some Notes. You can check us out on social media. We're at ihavesomenotes.bluesky.social. We're at I Have Some Notes pod over on Instagram, or I Have Some Notes over on Facebook. But as Liam mentioned before, the best place to talk to us is at our Discord server. You can find a link in the profile of all of our social media accounts or at ihavesomenotes.com. We have conversations going on there all the time. We're talking about upcoming fixes. We're talking about upcoming releases. We're just joking around with each other. It's a great place to hang out. We're always there. A bunch of our regular listeners are always there. Come join in the fun. And while you're doing that, also give us a little rating and review on your podcatcher of choice because that helps us out.
And if you want to visit patreon.com/I Have Some Notes, you can become an armchair screenwriter. For just $3 a month, you get access to bonus episodes, old and new, as well as a shout out on the podcast. We really appreciate your support. And, we say $3 a month. Maybe 1 month, maybe just like a tip jar situation. You just go, hey, thanks for this great podcast. You subscribe, you unsubscribe, you get a little content, and we appreciate that too. So. Yeah. It's not a commitment.
It doesn't have to be. We all know that finances are tight for everyone. So yeah, if you can contribute, we'd be super appreciative. But if you want to keep listening for free, you're welcome to do that too. And in 2 weeks, you're going to get another episode for free because we are going to ruin a movie that we probably all liked from the 90s. We're going to watch Happy Gilmore 2. These legacy sequels, they keep coming, and we keep watching them for some reason.
Reasons we don't understand.
We're part of the problem.
Until then, I'm Liam Creswick.
Scott C. Bourgeois.
And I'm Greg Beaver. Keep watching the skies.